Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome back to another important video. We just wrapped up the series of operators traps. If you have not yet watched it, please watch it. Right now, I just want to cover up some simple important points regarding the market structure of Nifty. What's Nifty doing and how should our traders, option buyers or sellers, how should we think in the market for the next week to come? What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to compare two charts, your gift Nifty and Nifty, right? So if you look at the gift Nifty on the left side, it has given us clear, proper defined structures, right? Some sort of a proper defined structure in gift Nifty. If you look at Nifty, the movement is very thin. The movement of Nifty is very thin. It's almost as if Nifty is trying to catch up with gift Nifty. Gift Nifty is moving on its own, and Nifty is trying to catch up with it. So there are a few reasons for this. There are a few reasons I want to cover, and I also want to talk about your India VIX. Why is it maintaining at a very high level? We'll talk about that in the second half of the video. But first, let us simply cover the possible structures happening right now in the Nifty. The if you see the right hand side of Nifty, right chart, what I'm going to do is from this swing low here, right? From this swing low. I have not yet taken considered this swing low as wave one, wave two like that. There's a reason for that, but for now, I'm just going to take this swing low of your 9th April. I think 9th April, everyone's familiar with it. 9th April is the day when the Trump tariff was reversed and there was a 90-day pause announced in the market. That happened on the evening of your 9th, and then we had a brilliant rally in the market. So far, this rally, it was unclear for us, right? The internal structure, the internal waves was not clear. Market was moving in some sort of a sideways pattern and suddenly a huge move. This happened, I think the entire week was sideways, and then market made a big move on top. So this was partly because of truncated weeks, a lot of holidays in the month of April within the weekdays. So that is why market behaved a little bit irrationally. There are other reasons. I'll talk about it in a small story after this analysis. So right now, what do we have? We have something that looks like a wave three. All right. From this point or this point, wherever you want to take, we are seeing some kind of a wave three. In that part, in the recent video where I told you in the operator's trap, there was an anchor point here, right? There was an anchor point zone. So wherever the market goes, it is definitely most likely to come back to this zone. Now, this anchor zone forms before a top or a bottom, right? Before a top or a bottom, this was something different. The anchor zone for this swing low was here. This area was the anchor zone for this swing low. But again, we'll talk about anchors later. But right now, this area has two potentials. Now, before we come to the importance of this area, we have to look at the time cycle zone. Now, this time cycle zones, I have already made a separate video. I have already released all the time cycle zones for this quarter for the next 3 months from your April, May, and June. So if you have not yet watched that video, this time cycle is again my own private research. I do not teach it. I share the direct output. I share the time zones for the benefit of whoever wants to learn or whoever wants guidance from time cycles. Now, important point is that we were in a minor time cycle zone. So before this, what happened? We were here, right? So during this time, the analysis video I released at this point on 7th bottom when the market was made, I told you two important things that from this point, either market is going to fall down depending on the news of the Trump tariff. It is going to fall down towards 21,600, or else we are going to see a big rally from here. So this was their analysis from this time zone. So yes, market gave us a very big move. This is actually a minor time cycle. Now, if you want to go into detail again, what is minor, major time cycle, time inversion, what happened in the first 3 months of 2025, you can see all this you can refer in the time cycle video. But a small highlight point I want to tell you that when there's a minor time cycle zone, what happens is we don't know if market is going to give us a big move or a small move. This is not clear to us. So if you look at the past two minor time cycle zones, this was one, this is another. So both of them gave big moves. This is another minor time cycle zone, decent size move. But if you go to the starting of the year, here, there was another minor time cycle zone in your January month, this did not give a significant move. It gave us a choppy move. From a trending move, market became sideways in the minor time cycle zone. So this is something we have to keep in mind. It is sometimes unpredictable. Sometimes it gives us good moves. Sometimes it gives us, a bit of a sloppy move. But your major time cycle, big one, this one gives us a huge move, right? This gives us a huge move. So the next one is coming somewhere in the mid of your major time cycle. So refer to that video, you'll understand. So right now, what I wanted to discuss is about this point here. We made a small swing high at this point here. This is your minor time cycle zone. So now question is whether market is going to give us a big move towards the major time cycle zone, or are we going to go further higher? Okay, this is the two questions we need to answer based on the events which is going to happen right now. So far, this is what we know. Based on the structure, right now it's very clear that there is some sort of a correction pending as a wave 4. And then we need to see a wave 5. Now, if I take some reference, if I want some reference from GIFT Nifty, right? I want even GIFT Nifty to give me some input. And I see that GIFT Nifty is dancing on some other song completely. Because if you look at the structure of GIFT Nifty from this point here, it gave us a good move here. All right. And then there was some sort of a sideways move, a fast move, correction. And then from this swing low, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the screen and I'm going to show you the difference. Both are 1 hour charts. Okay. Because GIFT Nifty runtime is a little bit more, both are using a 1 hour chart. And in both cases, you see that from this swing low, right? So this is the swing low here. From here, market in GIFT Nifty is moving in a 3-wave pattern completely. This is one 3-wave pattern. This is another 3-wave pattern. This is another 3-wave pattern. Okay. So when does these 3-wave pattern happen? It happens when, if this is a diagonal, right? So this happens once if it's a diagonal. Otherwise, some sort of a terminal leg or correction. Basically, if I'm considering this as an irregular flat. So we understood diagonal, then we understood if this is some sort of an irregular pattern like this. One of these two cases, irregular pattern or a diagonal. But Nifty is telling me something else, right? Nifty is completely telling me a different story. I can't see this much movement in Nifty. I cannot see so much movement in Nifty. I can see is a clear impulse here, but there is one small catch. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to explain possibility of a diagonal movement, and then we will see this wave 4 possibility. How do we identify it? Very simple. It's not complicated. If I'm taking the input from GIFT Nifty, then this diagonal is most likely continue a little bit further ahead. So this will come like this. This is your wave A. Okay. This will be your wave A, your wave B, wave C, wave D, wave E. This is a primary expectation of a contracting diagonal pattern, right? This is a expectation of a contracting diagonal pattern, which can run all the way to your 12th onwards, which is your major time cycle. So if you look at the time cycle, this is your major time cycle, which starts from 12th May, right? It can go all the way like that. Same thing if I apply in case of Nifty. Same thing if I apply for the Nifty start from here, then I can take this entire thing as wave A, correction as wave B, wave C, wave D, wave E, right? A, B, C, D, E. Now this can be in contracting diagonal pattern, which is all the waves are becoming small. If you don't know what contracting diagonal pattern is, go look at the Elliot wave master course. You will understand. I've explained each and every detail of how to calculate these every leg. Also, I've already explained how to calculate it. This is one of the possibility. The second possibility is that market is going for a deeper correction like this. Now we discuss the second possibility using Nifty's chart. So diagonal possibility, I think everyone understood. So in case if it's a diagonal, then this will shift a little bit higher like this. And then we'll go for a deeper correction, or something like this can also happen. Okay. So regardless of this count, this will be a diagonal, and then one correction will come deep till at least this point or till the starting of this point. So basically your anchor point will pull back the market to this area. Okay, if this continues on the upside. First condition. Second condition, what we are talking about is this one, fourth wave. Now, how do we calculate the length of fourth wave? There are two possibilities, like I told you. First, you cannot predict the structure of fourth wave. In all the waves, the most dangerous wave is the fourth wave, right? Fourth wave and B wave, because they can be a normal ABC pattern. Here it can be normal ABC. It can also be your triangle patterns, can suddenly shift to a triangle. It can suddenly become a regular irregular flat pattern like this. Complete flat sideways move can also come. You don't know this in case of fourth wave. So what we do is you have to let it play out. You have to let it play out, let it decide, let the market decide what it wants to do, and then after the analysis you can plan. So levels wise, what do we do? Levels wise, we look for 38 to 50% retracement. So now you can take it from this low here, 38 to 50% retracement. Your minimum requirement is 23.6. Okay, 23.6 is your minimum requirement. You want it to touch that minimum for wave 4. That is a confirmation that wave 4 is completed, or it is going on for sure when you complete this. So minimum requirement for wave 4 is 23.6. So what I've done is I have taken from this swing low here, wave 4. If I shift it, if you say, sir, this is not 3, or wave 3 is still not finished, it is going to finish next after this wave 4, no problem. And you want to measure your wave 4 from here, right? You want to measure from this swing low, you want to measure some wave 4, sir, in the market, and then final your wave 3 will finish. No issues with that. You can just adjust the Fibonacci from this swing low then. Okay, adjust the Fibonacci from this swing low, you will get a new 30 to 50% zone here. So you mark that, and what do you want to see? Basically, you want to see that market should sustain above this, should retest and sustain. That is one condition. If wave 4 goes sideways like a triangle pattern, you want to check whether 23% is broken or not. That is important. Okay, so both conditions I've told you. If there is a deep correction, you want to look for 38% to 50% zone, and then you want to see market bounce from that to next leg rally. That is a buy on dip scenario. If market goes sideways like this, no problem, it is definitely going to go up, but then you want to check whether 23% retracement is completed or not. Okay, this is the simple analysis we have right now. Now for next week, there is one small time cycle which is happening. Now that time cycle is telling me very small, only for next week. That is telling me from 5th to 8th, this has to be opposite swings. Meaning, for example, let's say, let me go down to a smaller time frame, it'll be more clear. So for example, let's say that 5th, we make a swing high like this. We go 5th end of the day, or 6th early first hour, we make a high. Then 8th has to be the opposite side. Okay, this is very clear for us. This is the small time cycle which is telling us 5th, whatever swing happens, 8th has to be the opposite side. Now this does not need to be swing low, it has to be a simple direction in that case. Simple. So the direction shift should happen from 5th, then it should continue till 8th. That is the clarity I'm telling you. Same thing, if you're telling me, sir, if 5th market does not do this, it directly falls down. Okay, market directly falls, so no issues. But then again, from 5th morning, 5th end of the day, or 6th first hour, market should start the next opposite direction towards 8th. This is only for next week, right? Till the expiry. This is a clarity we want. All right. I hope this part is very clear. This is for only next week, this time cycle. Now, the small story, what I wanted to tell you before that, to understand how an option buyer thinks, an option seller should think. Option seller, I think, is very easy for you. You just need to understand the ranges here. You understood till where market can fall. If it falls, just wait for confirmation, look for the bounce, and if the market is going sideways, you can plan for both side this thing setups like that. Now, option buyer needs clarity and time both. Option buyer needs clarity of the structure, exactly where the market will come from, there where exactly the market will turn, so that your stop loss will be minimum. I have told long back itself that this is not the market for option buyers right now. This I told you uh, in this point here, when there's no clarity of the structure. When there's no clarity of the structure, what is happening? Now there's a bit more clarity, so we know what to expect mostly in the market, whether it's going to come down and go up like this or not. This entire area, this correction will decide what is the fate of Nifty next till the mid of May. So the story which I want to tell you, let me just open up the chart of India VIX. So if you look at India VIX right now, from the start of April, right? From the start of April, it went for a major spike, sure, 23, 22 during the crash of April 7th, the tariff issues and all that. It was very big fall, no problem. But right now, after the 22nd April, it has risen again and is steady up. It is on the upside only. Market has not given us a big fall. Market has not given us a big fall from 13 level. It is right now trading around 18. There are a few issues you must understand regarding your VIX and how it impacts your weekly options. Your prices are elevated, first thing, right? Your prices are elevated more than expected. Premiums are there. So if an option buyer wants to play, and weekly, if you're playing near your expiry day, suppose Thursday, here Wednesday and Thursday, if you do any option, weekly option buying, what happens is a small 50-40 point spike also in the price, your premium will instant decay will come, right? This is what people think. No, what actually happens is that your premium will move fast. That's all. I'm not talking about decay, we're talking about movement fast. Decay usually comes when your overnight you take, and the rise, if it comes, it'll come fast, but again, movement of option prices will be very fast up and down. This is a good opportunity for scalpers, but those who want to make swing positions, that is an issue, because you don't know the chart, the Nifty's chart, how fast it is going to move. The volatility will be too much, right? Your SL can easily be hit. Suppose you're taking 30 rupees SL, 30 points SL, sometimes it can even jump above this if the movement, underlying movement of your Nifty is very fast. Anyway, my point here is that option sellers range play will be very helpful if you stick to one range. Market structure, since we have that, it is very helpful to us to identify that which direction the market is moving. All right. Now, the reason for elevated VIX, we know that there are some fools across our border who are trying to attack us, right? So that is one. Uncertainty is there. So that is one reason why VIX is high. Second reason is that coming 7th, so this chart, this website is Trading Economics uh, calendar. Go to the .com, tradingeconomics.com/calendar. This will tell you all the important economic events, macroeconomic events in the next week or next month. All right. So if you take your May 7th evening, Wednesday evening, we have your Fed interest rate decision. Okay. We have your Fed interest rate decision. Now this is happening at 11:30. This is a red folder news. This is a high impact event. Wednesday evening, that is your 7th. And for us, the impact will be shown the next day on 8th. So on 8th will be your expiry day also, correct? Now, The reason for this being an important, I'll tell you one small story. It is irrelevant to us, but it is relevant to us in terms of market movement and all that. There is the president of US president, Trump, and then there is the Fed chairman. The Fed chairman is JP, Jerome Powell. So these guys, this guy talks about the interest rate decision. Okay. Interest rate decision is in his hands. This fellow talks about the tariff. So this guy talks about tariff. This guy talks about the interest rate decision. The underlying story, the elephant in the room, is that US is definitely going into a recession period. Something is going to happen in US. There'll be mass layoffs and economy is going to fall. Here, because the Trump administration have introduced tariffs, this can accelerate the recession. The recession can happen very soon. Same time, to delay this recession, what Trump wants is, so he cannot tell directly he can, but that is behind closed door. In public, what Trump is doing, he's urging the Fed chair to reduce the interest rate. Okay, to reduce the interest rate. So when you reduce the interest rate, right now, because of stagflation and other issues, it is possible that future your recession will also be pulled forward. This recession can come even faster because when you remove the interest rate or reduce it, the underlying inflationary scenarios again increases. All right, it is not under control. Inflation does not come under control. So this recession can become faster. What is the issue here? The issue is that when this happens, this is going to happen for sure. So when this happens, one guy does not want to say that because of tariff, he wants to tell because of this interest rate decision got reduced, that is why it came. He wants to put the blame on your other guy, right? One fellow wants to put the blame on other guy. The other guy also knows that I cannot take the blame. I cannot take the blame if recession comes. So I will not listen to this fellow. I will not listen to this fellow. What I'll do is I will wait for them. I want to do this, but I will do it when it's convenient to me. It will save my seat. Market is definitely going for recession. So this fellow wants JP wants the recession because of tariff. He does not want because interest rate decision got reduced. Interest rate got reduced. So this kind of a clash is happening there. Okay. There is an uncertainty happening. Now, how does it affect our market? This is the backstory. This is what, again, this is my opinion. I don't know for sure. This is my opinion of what I can see. Backstory is now that this interest rate is happening on 7th. So what does the Fed usually tell? We'll see the data. We are data driven, and if the data is bad, only then we'll change. So far, the data has been normal, not a big deal. So most likely, it will be a status quo, mean no change in the interest rate. This will cause an anger to the Trump administration, so on and so forth. Whatever the major issue. So if the Fed says no change in the interest rate, the issue will postpone to the data event. So that's what I'm telling you. The interest rate, they'll say this is depending on the data, how data comes will change. So if the next data date is coming on the 13th, just go there, yeah. So the core inflation date is coming on the 13th of your May, Tuesday evening. So what will if the data comes bad, then the Fed, if the inflation is higher, so the Fed cannot reduce your your interest rate. They have to increase it higher. That is again bad for the economy. Again, inflation might be contained, but again, it's bad for the economy. They cannot reduce it. If the data comes good, like let's say it's reduced. Inflation has cooled down, and all that issues are gone. It's going slowly. If the interest rate is now cut, then again recession fears will come faster. Interest rate cut, there's a chance of again reinflation in the market, and possibility that future it can go higher again. So again, the Fed in the future has to raise rates. So basically, recession is almost confirmed. There is no choice. But how it comes, because of whom it comes, the Fed or tariff, that is not clear. So that is one another uncertainty is coming towards us, and this uncertainty is very soon. That 13th May also falls exactly in our major time cycle zone, right? So this is the story, right, guys, behind the next 2 weeks, and you will see a lot of headlines based on this. You will see a lot of YouTube gurus also posting videos based on this. They'll become overnight experts in global policy. Don't worry about that. It's very common nowadays. Whenever there's an event, any YouTuber becomes an expert in that topic. Okay. Anyway, this is all we need for the market study and structure. Those who ask me again, sir, tell me something about option buying, I don't have the capital. Please, right now you cannot ask me this kind of questions because I have given you the breakfast indicator. When I told you that this entire move, you cannot process swing trades, it's very difficult for you to go for swing trades and look for intraday scalps. Just look at the breakfast indicator. This is Nifty's breakfast indicator, 4-minute chart from the bottom of April 7th, right? What are the different kinds of pressure signals for scalping? For scalping, what are the different types of pressure signals you got, opportunities? So these are not swing. These are just intraday, small trades intraday, right? You have to build your own strategy, how to build a strategy, everything I've given, right? All this has been already discussed in your example. I've given a mock strategy in your breakfast indicator video. Look at this trade. This was a small scalp intraday, small scalp over here, this one, right? So all this is already there for us. We need to just focus on what our priorities are. Here there was a little bit choppiness, expiry day choppiness. Next day, beautiful fall. Right now we are here. There's no setup here. Right now we are here. We got a decent fall here. Another small expiry day setup, expiry day entire sideways market. We got starting here. Good. And this was a no setup. Then this top we caught using our intraday analysis. I updated this of the operator movement in the Telegram group, right? So entire 24,300, whatever from 600, it came back to 300. All this we have discussed in the Telegram group. So all this I have already given you. So nobody can come and tell me that, sir, I have no setup for intraday, or I have no setup for your scalping, right? So all this is already there. Those who are practicing it, well and good. Those who are not yet there, then I strongly urge after this video, go and watch your breakfast indicator video, right? Apply for the demo. You will get the demo and practice like that. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll see you in another video. Till then, take care and be safe.